I have, honestly, about 1 million questions in 3 minutes.
I know.
It's brutal.
I know.
Being honest with you.
I know. Well, it's brutal trying to answer them. I tell you, it's really hard. You know, it's complex stuff.
You're friends with Tom Hiddleston, and
Yeah.
Tom has talked. He's mentioned to me you guys are both going through something very unique online, where people are really into both of you.
Yeah.
You have the I guess it's Cumberbitches. There's
Collective, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of fan interest in you.
Yeah.
And Tom, what's it like being in the center of this like whirlwind where there's just so much interest, and you know what I mean?
I do, but I don't pay too much attention to it. I hate to break it to you. It just doesn't inform who I am. It can't do. You know, it's a crazy hall of mirrors, I think. You know, I'm out there doing a job as an actor, and I understand why there's an intrigue beyond that to try and understand who is behind the characters that I play. And, you know, I value and very, I guess timely for talking about this film, my privacy, as much as I understand that my work requires an exposure to a public. So I do think there's a difference, and I understand the need for trivia and gossip and nicknames and comparisons and who's dating who and what should I be eating and oh God he's ugly, oh God he's gorgeous, whatever. But at the same time I'm sort of very aware that I'm not going to benefit from engaging with it. It's for the fans to have fun with, and that's cool. That's cool.
The movie's fantastic.
Thank you.
You and Daniel both great.
Thank you.
One of the things about this film is that
Yeah.
it's so hard to tell a timely story when it's actually still happening right now.
I think so, but I think I hope what the film manages to do is at least present balanced and complex arguments in a way that allows people to come to them, engage with the film, and then realise it's a continuing conversation. You open your paper when you come out of the cinema, and you know it's a continuing conversation. But we're playing characters that are smaller than the events that they've caused now. It's an extraordinary thing. It's kind of exciting. It's really invigorating, and it charges you. It makes you very aware of the current affairs that relate to the topic, of this character of Julian. And yeah.
Did you spend more time preparing to play Julian in normal dramatic scenes or for the dance?
Well, yeah, the dance is quite well done. I mean, it is. My moves are from the footage of him that you can see online. It's one of those comparable moments where people could go, "That's Benedict, that's Julian." Compare, and that's going to happen. No, I spent a lot of work and tried to give that, give every aspect of him a great deal of integrity and through observation as much as I could. But there are parts of the movie where I'm trying to just peek around the back of this presented self, and the dance I think is one of the only things, funnily enough, not being trivial about it, but really seriously, is the only thing that really of really private nature that he's exposed doing. Don't you think? I mean, that's why because if you look on the internet, everything he's doing is presenting an argument or a defence or an evaluation or an interview. It's all about presentation. It's about him being the front man of this incredible idea that he originated. So. And made a reality, which is an extraordinary achievement, and that means, as an actor, you have all this wealth of resource to mimic, to understand, to kind of interpret maybe his physical semblance, his voice, his movements, his all his physical tics, but you don't really get the chance to get behind him. So that has to come out of further research. I mean, his book's quite revealing, and I think he went there, even though it's an unauthorized autobiography. I think he went into explanations of his background and self because there was so much intrigue about the messenger rather than just the message. When that massive, unprecedented leak happened in 2010. So I think in a way he had to counter that in his own words, which is a very sensible move in some ways, and it's unauthorized now. So he's also distanced himself from it, which was very smart, but. There was a lot of material in that which I found helpful as a window into understanding who he is and why he does what he does. But he still remains enigmatic and mysterious to me, and I think that's fine if the audience feel the same, because there's an element where that will always be the case, and he's managed to do that. And other times he's been very exposed as to how he feels and what he is and why he does what he does. So. Yeah, I hope we got that balance right, and if nothing else, this will provoke people in conversation about really important issues and controversial figures at the centre of them, and hopefully that will carry on outside of the cinema,
100%.
Cool.
Thank you.
I was going to say, I gotta go.
Okay.
Be a young actor, like you'd have 3 films.
You can't. I don't think you can really. I mean, you start out. I certainly did with not sort of low expectations in the sense of no hope, but just you can't possibly imagine a situation like this. You have to. You have to be pragmatic about the reality that it's a hugely overpopulated, talented workforce, somewhere in the 90% region of unemployment, and it's a privilege to work, let alone to have the kind of work that I've been asked to do, and then to have it all kind of come together in one film festival in 1 year is really cool. Yeah. They're out there, and they want to. I don't live here, and a lot of them do, and so it's a chance for them to meet me or greet me for a brief second, just to have a little interaction, and that means a lot to me. It's nice to be able to pay that back a bit. I don't think I can ever grow comfortable with that. It's a very odd thing. So I guess the short answer is, yeah, not sure.
Fair.
That was just a slow news day in England where a journalist with a long lens was trying to get me, coming out of my makeup or whatever it was I was doing with the base camp, basically going to set the Sherlock, and I was in a makeup and costume rig which I just didn't want the public to see before they sit down on a Sunday night and view it as a family in a few months' time. I wanted that to be kept away from the mass speculation and intrigue that follows us wherever we go in public. So I had to sort of wrap myself up, and I just felt ridiculous. I'd been watching the news and the breaking stories in Cairo as the protests had got worse and news of certain deaths had come through, and I just thought, why is there any interest in me, and why are they trying to ruin the plot by pointing a lens at me? And I just thought, I'm going to put something up that is of more interest than that much of my face that they still wanted to take a photograph of. And the irony is, I was really doing it as a message to the photographer, but he then went and gave it to his editor and it ran. So I don't know the hypocrisy there, but it's interesting. I'm the first person to love following shows and gossip and trivia, and I think there's a place for that as much as there is for serious journalism.